Order 20 or more, which is $4,500. Receive a free subscription to the International Forecaster or an extension. And because it's European gold, you have to allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. If it was American gold and American silver, delivery time's about two weeks.
From the same source, Robbie? Or?
No, different sources.
Okay. Well, then, okay.
But European gold's a pain in the butt right now. Why? Because we're back to square one again. Europeans are buying up the gold.
Yeah.
And so, and credit is tight.
All right. Along with that year subscription, folks, if you already have one, you don't think it's going to last another year, give it to somebody. Wake them up as well. You've got literally at your fingertips, the ability, not your words, because how many people in your life have ignored what you've had to say to them? Family members, relatives. Let somebody else do the talking. Give them the year's subscription to International Forecaster. I guarantee you, in the privacy and the darkness of the bathroom that they're hiding in at midnight, they'll be reading Bob Chapman's newsletter sitting on the toity. Well, maybe not the toity. You get a mug and also James Talmadge Stevens' book via email on what to do to prepare, not just gold and silver, what else do you need to do. I've got just enough time to squeeze this in. Greg Evenson, that used to be on this network, former Secret Service, former state cop, former city police department. This was posted on republicbroadcasting.org and also newswithviews.com. The time for talk is over. Any further delays in implementing self-protecting plans for families, neighborhoods, adjacent farms and ranches are unwise, self-defeating, and potentially disastrous. Further enumeration of the historical failures and the successful plots against freedom, liberty, personal and national sovereignty are a waste of time. Everyone who already knows the reasons for our current state of emergency are crystal clear as to their origins and implications for all Republic-loving individuals. That is why I've made the decision to relinquish my weekly radio broadcast on Republic Broadcasting, Voices from the Heartland, effective May 30. The time consumed in preparing for that weekly event is now being put into relevant action in the field. I've accepted a number of speaking engagements beginning June 5th and running in Phase 1 through the middle of August. All of these plans assume one major concept. It is that we will somehow avoid a catastrophe within the nation that emanates from the banking fiasco, the death of the automotive industry, the collapse of the employment market, a nuclear confrontation with North Korea, or any number of unthinkable possibilities, and all of those outcomes are still far from certain. Resilient Americans who have prepared for and are awaiting the other shoe's arrival upon their heads are now grouping together in a final effort to gather all the tactical information they can prior to the end game being fulfilled. People can continue to complain, blame others, analyze ad nauseum, and not change a thing at this point. Others are preparing for campaigns to unseat 20-term incumbents and spend the next 18 months working for nothing. Communism under the thin guise of socialism has arrived at our front door. We accepted all the false, misleading, placating, tranquilizing, feely-good stupidity that the Democrats and Barry Sartoro offered us. What he was doing all along under the guise of stimulus was petting the puppy's head as he administered the euthanasia drugs. Any further discussion about how we can use the courts to reverse absolutely mind-numbing unconstitutional legislation is pointless. The courts are owned by the king and his henchmen. All efforts to convince local government that they must commit to republic building instead of community destruction through political correct versions of state and national lapdog plans sent forth from Washington are useless. Our citizen-driven national version of the family SUV has come to rest against the guardrail found at the end of the pavement. The trip is over, folks. We are out of road. I wish I could tell you where we are going. If you don't know or don't have a map, it wouldn't do me much good to try to tell you anyway. One thing is for certain. From here, you will walk the rest of the way. For many, it will be a destination unknown. Most are on the way to the city of despair, the state of confusion, located within the nation of disgrace. For others, the destination will not be pleasant, nor a matter of choice. You get the picture. For those, take all your belongings and climb into the truck, will weep in utter misery for the personal negligence they have brought upon themselves and their families. You will have paid the ultimate price. So you will take the final moments God is giving you to step away from your stupid zone and do what you should have done long ago? Will you finally make some plans? Will you really sell off the unnecessary toys and purchase the absolute necessary survival tools that will give you a chance to make it through? Will you search out the ultimate truth of our predicament and the one who can give you peace, serenity, and eternal life? Can you admit that putting a dictator in office was one of the very worst mistakes, and you will try to make amends by resisting him and his communist platform? Will you do all that you can to convert your family and friends who also voted for him and others supporting him to work against him in every way possible? That may sting and burn to be told that, but it is far better than the amputation of your limbs that is coming if he continues to dismantle this nation and its last freedoms. Editorials like these are expected to consume about 1,500 words. This is half of that. Like I said, the time for talk is over. Now what he's doing, he's training and his experience in law enforcement, as I said, Secret Service, state police, local police, and military tactics is extensive. He said, you should know what I know now. What he's doing is he's traveling the United States, talking to groups of individuals, getting them out in the field, giving them rudimentary training, what they're going to need, equipment, so on and so forth. He has quit the radio gig. He is out there in the field training and counseling people right now. Now, this guy doesn't fool around. He's a good man. He's a very spiritual man, not a phony, doesn't sell Jesus. He actually believes in what he talks about. A very upright man and a man of great experience and a wealth of knowledge. So Greg Evenson, I will have him on July 3rd on the program. He's very, very busy, and I had to go that far out to get him on the air. So, folks, this is not a game. This is not a practice run. We are literally in the struggle for our own lives, our liberty, and our freedom. Not only ours, our future, our present, and future generations yet to come. We're only 233 years old. A company just went bankrupt that was about half as old as this country was, called General Motors. Seems like it was only yesterday. We are still a young nation, but one so good that it had to be put asunder and destroyed. I, for one, am not going to let it happen. Are you? We'll take the break. Bill, Patty, Gary, Lynn, others. We'll get to all of your calls right after this break.